the real reason we're here today, and I appreciate you being here. I know you've gone through a lot of questioning, and the fact that it's not a political hearing, I understand that, but I'm getting a little bit confused because we keep going back to the political side of it. To me, this is about trust, and you're the highest-ranking law enforcement official in the country. And when the people lose trust in an agency, that's a very difficult thing to recover, if you can recover it at all. And I go back to a couple quotes, and these are ones you'll recognize. One is transparency is the best thing. That's from you, by the way, in January of 2009. For a long time now, there's been too much secrecy in this city. Let me say it as simply as I can. Transparency and the rule of law will be the touchstones of this presidency. So we always hear this talk about, we're going to be transparent, we're going to be clear. And then the only thing that I hear, that I'm clear on, is that you were never informed of any of these things. No matter what it was, you know what, I never was informed. And I'm not questioning your management style. I come from an industry that if you lose somebody's confidence, it's very hard to get it back. Now, we can keep talking about this for a long time. What I'm amazed about is that since 2009, 2010, 2011, there's very little information about what happened. When we go back to 2006 and a previous administration, we can very clearly demonstrate what they did and what they did not do. And what I'm really bothered by is a letter from the Department of Justice, and we've already made reference to it. And this is to Senator Grassley. This responds to your letters dated January 27, 2011 and January 31, 2011 to Acting Director Kenneth Melson of the Department's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, ATF, regarding Project Gunrunner. We appreciate your strong support for the Department's law enforcement. At the outset, the allegation described in your January 27th letter that ATF sanctioned or otherwise knowingly allowed the sale of assault weapons to a straw purchaser who then transported them to Mexico is false. ATF makes every effort to interdict weapons that have been purchased illegally. And then, on that very same day, below is a synopsis of Assistant Attorney General Lanny Brewer's meetings with the Mexican Attorney General's office, Mexico's federal police, and the Secretary of Foreign Relations. Now, who else is there? AG Brewer, Deputy Chief of Mission, John Feely from the State Department, DAAG Blanco, Kevin Sudwell. All these folks are here, and at the end of it, here's what they come up with. AAG Brewer told Ventura that there had been a proposed increase in the U.S. sentencing or guidelines for straw purchasers. AAG Brewer suggested that a letter from the SRE or PGR in support of increased sentencing guidelines for straw purchases may be useful. The proposed cross-border operation, AAG Brewer suggested allowing straw purchasers cross into Mexico so SSP can arrest and PGR can convict and prosecute these folks. Such coordinated operations between the U.S. and Mexico may send a strong message to arms traffickers. And now, it is preposterous to me to sit here and listen that you, as the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in the country, said, but I didn't know. I didn't know. And see, that's the problem. I just didn't know. Had I known, I would have changed it. And had I known earlier, I wouldn't have waited until December 2nd of this year to pull the message that Brewer had sent. I would have allowed the February 4th letter, 2011, to be entered into it. Don't you see where the problem is, Mr. Attorney General? It isn't that you say, I didn't know or I wasn't quite aware of it. The problem is the American public relies on you, sir, to follow all those guidelines. You are the chief officer. And then to come before this body and for us then to be accused of some type of a political agenda, this isn't a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. This is a United States of America issue. So you have your AAG down in Mexico saying, yeah, this is a good idea, we're going to keep doing it. And then you have the people back home saying, you know what, we never did that, and we don't want it to go on. Is there any wonder then that the American people have lost trust and lost faith in this system? Absolutely not. The fact that they still hang on to a thread of it goes back to what they know the country was to be in the beginning and what it still can be. But when you continue to find out that those who are responsible don't do their work, and at the end of the day, they don't say, you know, what happened to my watch, it's my fault. What they say is, it happened in the previous administration, and doggone it, the people who are supposed to brief me never briefed me. I can't believe that the transition from the last administration to this administration, there was no briefing. I mean, there may be, and the AGs may have turned, but I'll bet you the same people were still on. And so to say that we really didn't know about it, to me is absolutely preposterous, and that's something that I can't accept. And if you go back to Northwest Pennsylvania, you know what integrity is? It's saying what you mean and meaning what you say, and don't run around the outsides of it. Go right to the middle and tell people what happened. You know what? I would appreciate you saying, you know what? I didn't have the foggiest idea what was going on. I went after the people that handled it and handled it poorly, and they're no longer involved.
Gentleman's time has expired. We go to the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Kucinich.